Hello everyone and welcome to today's Chrissy B Show, and I'm your host Chrissy B. Now today we take you to the next stage of the business journey with our expert Mark Wright, who so far has given his tips on how to start a winning business, as well as the need to build a successful team. Next, Mark explains the vital importance of having a mentor to help guide and advise you through some difficult times. We'll also be giving you an exclusive insight into what everyday life can be like as the owner and founder of a successful business when we caught up with Mark for a typical day in his offices of his online marketing company Climb Online. And if that's not enough, we'll also be joined by Helena Chard, who'll be giving us the week's positive news in Behind the Fame, and Dr Rob Hicks will be answering all of your medical questions in Doctor's Answers. We'll also see how we got on when we went for a day trip to Brussels, and at the end of the show, I'll be giving you my top tips on how you can be a great mentor. According to the Federation of Small Businesses, research has shown that 70% of small businesses that receive mentoring survive for 5 years or more, which is double the rate compared with non-mentored entrepreneurs. Sage.com report that 97% of business owners with mentors say they are valuable, however, only 15% currently have one. Mentors Me state that 67% of businesses reported an increase in productivity due to mentoring, whilst 55% felt that mentoring had a positive impact on their profits. But of course, mentors come in all shapes and sizes, and they aren't just important for businesses and entrepreneurs. And I'll be giving you my tips on how you can be a mentor to somebody else later on in the show. But first, let's hear some of your thoughts. BBC Scotland report that a new Scottish mentoring programme has been launched for women-led businesses. Paul Hopwood quotes Oprah Winfrey saying, "It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, the ability to triumph always begins with you, always." Stephanie says, "When people appreciate you as a sponsor and mentor, you work hard and I will go the extra mile for you." Jamie Hunter says, "Good mentoring is critical. Without it, it is hard to see the forest through the trees." Gannon says, "I love mentoring kids. It completely changes how you approach your daily life. Like the things unseen are more accounted for." And Dan leaves us with this thought: your mentor doesn't have to know they're your mentor. So some very interesting thoughts there. Well, before we hear Mark's mentoring tips, we were lucky enough to gain exclusive access to the offices of his online marketing company Climb Online to see firsthand what it takes to run a successful business. The short answer: a lot of dedication. Let's take a look at a typical day in the life of Mark Wright.
Good morning. It's just after 6 o'clock in the morning. This is where I normally start my day. I get up, obviously have a shower and get dressed, and I come and make my breakfast, and I sit here with my notepad and my emails open. And I do 45 minutes now of checking my emails. I read the news, so anything that's happened that I keep up to date with, and I write my list of things to do I need to do for the day. And it's also Monday. Monday's my busiest day of the week, so I write a list to do for today and I write a list to do for the week. And I also download a new audio book, which I'm just about to start my tube journey in about 45 minutes time. This week's audio book is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So it's a fable about how to live a happy, healthy life while being successful in the workplace. But I'll keep you posted as I go throughout the day. But get ready, it's going to be a very busy day for a Monday.
Okay, so it's now just gone 20 past 8. I've got the 8:30 Monday morning staff meeting where I update now the whole company on everything that we're going to try and achieve this week. We get updates from all the managers, and it gets everyone in the right frame of mind to have a good week. So let's go and see how that happens. So I'm just about to go and run our Monday morning staff meeting. It's something that we do every single Monday morning. I feel it's really useful when people come in, especially staff after the weekend. They're generally a bit anxious and low because the weekend's finished. Everything they had planned is now finished, and they've got to start the week of work again. And Monday morning can quite be a bit daunting for them because there's so much of the week ahead and so many tasks to do. So let's go and do it. Right, I've got a few things to go through today. First of all, Steph, how was the barbecue at yours?
Yeah, I think we had a lovely time. It was great.
Yeah? I think everyone, we should give Steph a round of applause for a well-constructed barbecue. And I just want to run over the benefits. Isn't this good, Laura, that I'm doing this? So you're aware of everything that you get here as an employee. I find by having a Monday morning meeting, you're able to set team goals and objectives, but also get the staff in a good mood, get them motivated, active for the week, and work together towards the goals as the whole company. I find it really helps me get in a good spirit and a good mood because I love presenting for it, but I find by the end of the meeting that the company's ready to perform. Unless there's anything else, that's it for today. Have a good week and I'll see you next week. Okay, so now it's time for my Monday morning managers meeting. This is my most important meeting of the week. Basically, I meet with my head managers from each department to understand what's exactly happening in the business, the pain points, and how I can help affect that as the director. The investment in the time is still exactly the same, whether it's one person or four, just sitting there training them through. They may not work, you lose the recruitment fee and the time, then you hire another one and you start that journey again. They'll tell me all the good and bad news from last week and what their objectives and goals are for the week to come, and now I'll work with them individually to make sure we get the most from the week. Okay, so now I've just finished my Monday morning meeting and the Monday morning managers meeting. We've got some customers in with the reps now assessing how their business and their campaigns are performing. We've got a baby jewellery company, Saffron Bells, who's just come in for their SEO update. Hello, how are you? Good to see you again.
Hi, are you alright?
Very good, how's business?
Yes.
It's good, yeah. I thought I'd come in and see how you're getting on. I've been keeping an eye on your campaign and I thought I'd better come and make sure the girls are looking after you. Just like the Monday morning staff meeting, one of the most important things I do in my entire week is at the start of the week, go around and see each of my staff, understand what they're working on, how things are going for them in the company and what's happening for them personally. It's really important that they feel that they're working in a happy, productive environment and that I, as the director, know what's happening in the business. So let's go and check in on a few of them now. Hey, mate.
Hey.
One of the things I've always done is be very structured from the moment I get up in the morning on a Monday till the end of the week on a Friday. And one of the biggest things that the modern day businessman or woman suffers with is how to manage their email inbox. People tend to just email all day, back and forth, blah, 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 and feel like they've been really busy all day. One of the things that I'm really focused on is scheduling time to work with things like emails and phone calls. So I get up at 6 o'clock every morning and from 6:15 till 7, I will do 45 minutes of emails. Then 45 minutes before lunch, which is now about 11:30 till 12:15, I'll do 45 more minutes of emails, and then the last 45 minutes of the day. Anything that can't be answered in that time has to be put off till after I finish in the evening, because a lot of people spend far too much time in their email inbox and not working on their business. So for me, it's essential to spend more time with my staff and with my customers than writing back or looking at the next offer in the inbox. Okay, so it's just gone after 12:30. I've done all my morning meetings and she checked in for some emails now. So I'm just going to go and grab a sandwich and come back and get ready for the afternoon. So it's lunchtime. One of the problems that most businesses face with their workforce is once they come back from lunch, there's a bit of a dead atmosphere. People have lost the momentum they've created in the morning and then are unable to continue with their work at the same rate or flow that they did in the morning. One thing that we've come up with here is what's come known as boot camp, where all of the staff get together, nominate an exercise and get together and have a bit of a laugh and joke and do some exercises. It gets the blood pumping, it gets the guys laughing, and then we're able to continue our work with the same energy we did in the morning. It's become a really popular thing and something I no doubt other businesses will take on board. Every Monday, to start the week, I sit with my accountant, Rob. We look over the numbers from the previous month and we look at trends that are taking place in the business and make decisions on how we can best scale the operation to suit the financial needs of the company. Rob gives me insights to how individual team members are performing, individual departments are performing, and where we can look to cut costs and save and make more money. I find it's a really valuable part of my week, but it's really become the most important part of my week. The difference between the businesses I've run previously and this business now is the success is knowing the numbers. I believe that if you know the numbers, you know your business and you can scale into success very quickly. I think the key to running a successful business and having a happy workforce is nominating responsibility and dedicating things to individual staff members. Today we're going to shape some responsibility to new staff members that have joined the business and also give key roles to people that have been with us for a certain amount of time. We kind of want to give you as much as possible to assist Lindsay. Yeah. It is our most important thing, and the people that do cash flow is me, Lindsay and Rob. And the reason why it's so important is it's directly linked to our bank accounts. Lindsay Morgan heads up my operations here at Climb Online, and I sit with her for over an hour every week looking at how we can restructure the teams, get the most from people, and make sure that everyone's working as hard as they can and that they're happy within the business. Okay, so it's just gone 5:45 now, so I'm just going to start to wrap up for the day. I'll grab my stuff. I usually go to the gym now on the way home, so I'm going to go grab my stuff, go off to the gym and have about an hour and a half's workout. I usually go for a run, go for a swim or sauna, just to sort of relax and give myself some time. And then I go grab some food and I go and do another 2 hours of emails once I get home. So I'm going to grab my stuff, say bye to the team and go from there. See you later, guys. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Good evening. As I said this morning, it was going to be one crazy day, as Mondays always are. I've went from the gym this afternoon back to work for an hour or so, wrapped up there, and I got home about 8 o'clock. Now, between the tube and the supermarket, I have about a 15-minute walk where I called my regional managers for my Bristol and Manchester office as I get my dinner. I catch up with them to find out what their plans are for the week and how we're tracking in those offices. I got in about 8 o'clock. I've cooked my dinner and I've been here just for under 2 hours now doing emails. I've got 29 emails left to do, so I should be finished about 10:30 this evening, which means I'll be in bed for 11 p.m. and up again tomorrow at 6 to start my emails at 6:15. I've planned my day's diary for tomorrow now, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. But thank you for coming along on my journey and seeing how a day in the life of Mark Wright is done. I hope you've picked up a few things and can apply a couple of things to your day, and we'd love to hear how your days are as well. But thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, after the break, our business expert Mark Wright will be giving me his advice on why a mentor is so important, and we'll see how the Chrissy B team got on when we visited Brussels for the day. But first, how many youths continue to lack supportive, sustained relationships with caring adults here in the UK? Is it A, 6.5 million, B, 8.5 million, or C, 10.5 million? Have a think and I'll tell you the answer right after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. Now, before the break, I asked you how many youths continue to lack supportive, sustained relationships with caring adults in the UK. Is it A, 6.5 million, B, 8.5 million, or C, 10.5 million? The answer is an incredibly high 8.5 million according to youth.gov. We're here to give you his advice on finding a mentor, and speaking from his experiences with Lord Sugar is our business expert Mark Wright. Let's take a look.
Before I won the Apprentice and started Climb Online, if someone had said to me, would you prefer £250,000 investment or mentorship, I would have taken the £250,000. Now, 2.5 years into running a successful business with a mentor, if you ask me if I'd take £250,000 or mentorship, I'd laugh at the £250,000. I believe fundamental to success is business mentorship. A coach that can guide you on your journey through the ups and downs of running a business is absolutely essential. So I'm going to give you 5 tips today to running business success with a mentor. Tip 1 is, who is the right mentor for you? Now, a mentor is someone who has achieved the success that you're looking to achieve on your journey. So find someone who has achieved the success that you're looking to do and ask that person to be your mentor. The first mistake a lot of people make when finding a mentor is they pick the wrong person. They find someone that's just really good or been successful, but they've been successful in a different business. It's essential you find someone that knows what you're talking about and the journey that you're on, because it's no good getting a mentor for a restaurant if the person doesn't know how to cook, because a mentor is used on the downs. When you have had that bad day, when you don't know what to do, you ring the mentor up and they say, I've been in this position 1,000 times. So it's important that the mentor has been in those positions and knows what you're talking about, and you'll be successful. Tip 2 is, why is a mentor beneficial? Now, a mentor is beneficial because, like I said in tip 1, they've been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt. Where I've used Lord Sugar and my other mentors is always to ask them, here is the situation, and they say, I've been there 1,000 times, here's what you do. A mentor is used to answer the questions you don't yet know the answers to. So that's the reason you'd have a coach or a mentor, and the best use of them is for the problems that you're facing on a day-to-day, or the things that you're always asking yourself. It's good just to have a sounding board and get answers or a different perspective from somebody else. Tip 3 is, how do I get the most value from my mentor? Now, the way you get value from the mentor is knowing your weaknesses and knowing their strengths. I have written a plan for how I wanted things to go with my mentor, and every time I sit down with them for an hour session, I focus on 3 key things that are failing for me that month and ask for their advice. So I'm very strategic. I don't just sit there and go, how did you deal with that? As the month goes on in my business, I take note of the 3 things that I've really struggled with, or the things that I could improve, that I could have the biggest success for if they went correct. So what I do is I take note as I go, and I just focus on 1 to 3 challenges in each mentoring session. I spend an hour with my mentor every month face to face, and I have a weekly phone call to catch up to make sure I'm staying on top of the plan. Set a goal or a plan. Just like running my business, just like running my personal life, I have goals and plans for everything, and that is essential. Mentoring is no different. You need to understand what the objective is from being mentor. Set goals with your mentors. Mine is based on where we want to be with the business in 5 years financially, how much turnover we want, how much profit we want, and if we were to ever sell, how much we'd sell for. And we set year by year goals, and it's really important, because you don't know if the mentoring is working if you have nothing to measure it by. Tip number 5 is measurement. What I think gets lost in the journey of mentoring is just going over the same things over and over, and you both float and it gradually falls apart. In every 4th session I do with my mentor, we have what's called a check-in, where we discuss how the mentoring's going, what things could be improved, and how we're tracking against our goals and our plan. And that is fantastic, because you know the measurement session is always coming. So you're focused on making sure you've ticked off everything from the previous sessions to make sure that you're hitting your targets and you're sticking on your plan of success. So just like all things, set goals, but also measure them and improve your journey as it goes along. It's fundamental to making sure it works.
Thank you very much to Mark. Well, make sure you tune in a couple of weeks when Mark will be giving us his tips on ways to stay fit and healthy whilst managing a heavy workload. Well, as you know, we're always looking for the most exciting things for you to do with your time. So here's how we got on when we went for a day trip somewhere a little further afield, Brussels. Alright guys, so it's 5:15 in the morning, woke up at 4. Didn't get much sleep last night, went to bed about 1, I think it was, in the end. And we are just getting ready for our trip to Brussels. So we're going to be filming as we go along. We're just going to check that we've got all the camera equipment and then we're off. So we've arrived at King's Cross and as you can see it's dead quiet, so lovely to travel at this time. And now we're going to go and get our train. So follow me. Oh, this is Farah, by the way. It's our camera person.
Hello.
What's your face, Farah? There you go. Hey. Let's go. I'm really upset because just arrived here. I was looking forward to tea and a croissant and nothing's open. So we're going to look around and see if there is any cafe or anything open for us to get a cuppa and something to eat. So let's go and see. Valerie just drove out somewhere else and we've met Julia. Okay.
Hello, good morning. It's still almost dark, but it's getting brighter. We're at King's Cross now and we're having a little bit of coffee, going out to Brussels in style. We'll see you on the other side.
So we're finally on the train on our way to Brussels. It's my first time, it's Jen's first time as well. And also Caroline Farah's.
Lovely.
So exciting stuff for us. I just had to let you know what Farad has with him. Supposedly these are travel size items in his opinion. So Farad, show us what you have in your rucksack.
Well, I've got my phone is charging at the moment. So
Right.
I've got that, I've got a spare cable, some adapters.
Yeah, what else have you got in your bag? Okay, you got your water, that's normal. That's really travel size, isn't it, Farad?
I've got sandwiches.
Sandwiches, okay.
Dual.
Why? Why did you bring that? Tell us. Can you just... You're filming today, Farad.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with your tablet?
So whilst we've got this long journey, about 2 hours, something on the train, so I can play some games.
Okay.
So do you have things like a first aid kit and stuff?
Nice carry case.
First aid kit? The essentials?
First aid.
No?
But I do have, I think, those lemon wipes. Something somewhere.
We've arrived. 2.5 hours.
There should be somebody in the house. Waiting for a cab.
Let's go cab now.
Okay, we're up in the air right now. As you can see behind me, there's all these pods, tables, restaurants actually. And I am high up high.
We are now on the Belgian train. Looking like the ones in
New York. I think it also more so to me looks like the metro in Paris. But we're getting the train back instead to try to make through time. Definitely not like London, full-time London. Waiting for about almost half hour.
good, so we're just skipping the train. We were trying to, we couldn't even get the tickets right, we were trying to put them into the thing, but apparently it's paper, but you touch it like an oyster. So what not to... Yeah, someone had to show us how to use the ticket because we would have been stuck in the barriers. break, Dr. Rob Hicks will be answering all of your medical questions in Doctor's Answers, including this one. I have recently lost my sex drive and I'm in a fantastic relationship. Why could this be and what can I do to improve my mood? So make sure you tune in after the break to hear his answer. And if you have a question for Rob, email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. Hi, I'm Chrissy B and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to the show, everyone, and we now have Doctor's Answers with me, Dr. Chrissy B, because I have earned a stethoscope, which means that I can answer all of your questions with the help of Rob here, of course. Hello, Rob. How are
Hi,
you?
Chris. Congratulations.
Thank you for graduating me. That's really good.
Yeah, you are now an honorary doctor.
Yes, yes. So, of course, so we have a few questions from the viewers. And obviously, guys, if you do want to ask a question, please do email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. I won't really be answering your questions, of course. Dr. Rob Hicks will be. So shall we get to the questions, Rob?
Yes,
Thank you for the stethoscope, though. I love it. Okay, so this was the question that we had before the break. This person's saying, I have recently lost my sex drive and I'm in a fantastic relationship. Why could this be and what can I do to improve my mood?
Well, this is actually a very common problem, and it's very brave, I think, of the person to ask, because often the trouble is with this sort of situation is people bury their head in the sand and they don't ask the question, and so the problem gets worse. So the way I like to look at this sort of problem is I look at the physical, the emotional and the lifestyle. So the sorts of things that can hit your sex drive or libido. From a physical point of view, it could be that you have a thyroid gland problem, it could be that you're anemic. You don't say if you're a man or a woman, so if you might be reaching or going through the menopause, that can reduce the libido as well. So from an emotional, psychological point of view, stress, anxiety, depression are common problems that can result in a lack of libido. And then think about lifestyle as well. So is it that actually you're just too tired? Have you got too much on your plate? Maybe you're consuming too much alcohol, because that will sap the libido as well. And if you're taking any medication, then have a look at the list of possible side effects, because that might be the cause as well. So you've asked the question, there's possible answers. What you need to do is have a checkup with your doctor to get to the root of what your specific reason is, so it can be treated and you can get your sex drive back.
Right, okay, next question. Is there a cure for toenail fungus? I've tried all sorts of over-the-counter treatments, but they haven't done anything.
The answer is yes. Patience.
Okay.
The difficulty with toenail fungal infections is that they take a long time to treat. So generally speaking, if you've tried all the over-the-counter remedies, have a chat with your doctor, who in the first instance will probably ask you to take a few nail clippings that they can send off to the lab to confirm that it is a fungal infection. If it is, then you'll be given a course of tablet treatment. And this is usually for about 6 months. So you do really have to be very patient. In the meantime, things that you can do to protect yourself from getting further infections, particularly once this infection is cleared, is make sure that you keep your feet dry, keep them clean, make sure that you wear clean socks or stockings every day, fresh pairs every day. Try not to live in the same shoes, because the fungal infection loves to be in warm, moist places, and of course sweaty feet and certainly shoes that absorb the sweat and create that moisture are the ideal environment. So those are the sorts of things to do whether you've got the infection or not. But have a chat with your doctor and let's get it confirmed. If it is confirmed, you'll get some treatment.
Okay, next question, Rob. What would be your tips to not stress out before you go to sleep? I have anxiety often just before bed and often have very disturbing nightmares as a result of it.
Well, I think one of the things, the important things for this person to do is try and get to the bottom of why they're anxious before they go to sleep. Because, I'm going to suggest a lot of things to help with sleep. Yeah. But if the underlying cause is still there, then and remains untreated, then it will be harder to overcome this problem.
Because it says that anxiety often comes just before bed, so it's like they're not anxious during the day, maybe it's just bedtime.
And this is a very common scenario because, of course, as we put our head down on the pillow to go to sleep, all those things that we're thinking about during the day disappear. So things that we may have suppressed are able to come to the fore. And so there's something, I think, which is coming to the fore just before this person decides they're going to go to sleep, that then triggers the anxiety. In the meantime, what I suggest you do is think about some relaxation therapies before you go to bed. So that can be deep breathing, that can be some stretching, it might be listening to music, it might be reading a favourite passage from your favourite book, something like that. Many people find a benefit from having soothing sounds. So it might be waterfalls, it might be waves, it might be the wind playing within the room. You need to make sure that the room is conducive to good sleep, so that the temperature's right, that it's, you know, that it's quiet enough and it's dark enough as well. And try and stay away from, you know, stimulants, things like caffeine, for example, which will keep you awake. Alcohol, many people find that helps them go to sleep, but you don't get refreshing sleep, so I would suggest staying away from alcohol as well. And then think about sleep hygiene, and we have a very good doctor's orders short video on all the different sleep hygiene techniques that people can use to get a good night's sleep. So those are the sorts of things that can ease you into good night's sleep. A cup of warm milk or a warm bath before sleep is another couple of things you can try. But also, you need to get to the bottom of what's causing the anxiety. So have a think about it, maybe keep a diary to see if something triggers. It might be a certain thing happening at work once a week, twice a week, but have a checkup with your doctor as well, because if it is something like depression, then of course it needs to be treated.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, next question, Rob. Why have I suddenly started getting varicose veins? It started around a month and a half ago and they have started spreading rapidly. I'm 34 years old and a single mother.
Varicose veins, okay, so one of the reasons may be that they've always been there but you've noticed them for the first time and now you're very conscious and aware of them. It might be that you're in hot weather and that can make the veins dilate, you know, swell and become more obvious. People who gain weight are more likely to develop varicose veins. Being pregnant also encourages varicose veins to develop, so that's something to be thinking about. And also standing for long periods, so maybe you've changed your daily activities, maybe you've changed your job so that now you're standing, whereas before you were sitting. So have a think about those things. And you know, a way to manage them actually is to move around a lot. Try not to be standing in one place at one time. If you need to lose some weight, then lose weight. And sometimes people actually wear compression stockings just actually to ease the discomfort, the aching that can come with varicose veins.
Okay, got time for some more, Rob. So this person is asking, what would be your advice to someone trying to get pregnant? I'm 32 and have previously had 2 miscarriages and have recently become pregnant again.
Well, I've done it.
Which is that's what I was going to say.
Congratulations.
Maybe it just means to actually keep it.
Yeah, I think whether you're trying to become pregnant or whether you are already pregnant, the philosophy is very much the same. A healthy diet, obviously, is important. Whilst you are pregnant, there are certain foods that should be avoided. So, for example, pate, cheeses like gorgonzola and brie, for example. Obviously, don't smoke. Try and avoid alcohol if you can. When you're pregnant, the advice is not to have more than 200 milligrams of caffeine a day, so that's the equivalent of about 2 mugs of instant coffee. Very important to take a daily supplement of folic acid, not only whilst you're pregnant for the first 12 weeks of pregnancy, but actually from the moment you start trying to fall pregnant. And once pregnant, the advice is also to have a daily supplement of vitamin D and keep as relaxed as you can, really. So whether the healthy lifestyle is beneficial whether you're trying to fall pregnant or whether, as you say, you're already pregnant and want to maintain the best chances of going through a healthy pregnancy and having a healthy baby at the end of that.
Okay, thank you for that. Rob, next one. I'm a male and I recently found blood in my toilet after going for a wee. Is this bad and what could it be?
Okay, well, finding blood in the toilet when you've been for a wee or when you've had a pee is never normal, and immediately you need to get that checked out. What are the likely causes? Well, it could be trauma. I mean, it may be that actually you've caught the penis in your zip when you've been zipping up, and actually you've caused a little laceration at the end of the penis, and that's where the blood's come from. You may have scratched the penis with your nail, for example. So trauma is one possibility. Passing a kidney stone can cause blood in the urine, as can an infection in the waterworks as well. So those things need to be checked out. We sometimes find with long distance runners that they can develop this problem as well, and in that case it's actually not a problem for them at all, but you have to eliminate all the other possible causes before that's made as a diagnosis. So this, I would say to you, don't hesitate to go and get this checked out basically, because if it does need treatment, then the sooner the better.
Okay, next question, Rob. I'm a 27-year-old female. Why am I gaining more facial hair around my chin, lips and cheek area?
Okay, many people would find this an embarrassing question to ask, and I'm glad this person has asked it, because a lot of people would try and just deal with it and suffer as a consequence. Yes. So well done for asking that. Sometimes the honest reality is we don't know. It just happens, and it may be related to your culture. Certainly as women get older, they're more likely to develop facial hair. If you're taking any sort of medication, that could be a side effect of the medication, so check the information leaflet of anything you're taking. It could be hormonal, so in young women like yourself, then polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a hormonal problem, one of the classic symptoms is facial hair in the distribution that ordinarily men get it. So, and also women also get hair on other parts of the body as well. So this is something that there's no harm in getting a checkup for, because there are treatments. For example, there is a cream that can be used to get rid of hair on the face, and the other ways of getting rid of hair on the face are things like electrolysis, for example. But first off, you need to get to the bottom of why it might be happening, and it may be, as I said, that there isn't an answer, in which case it's just a case of treating it.
Okay, and time for one last one, Rob. How are blood clots dissolved? My doctor's about to dissolve a blood clot in my leg, and I would like to know how.
Well, there are different ways of doing this. You can do it what we call with drug therapy, or you can do it mechanically. And so one way is to give an injection of a special type of drug that helps break down the clot, and you can give that into the vein, or you can actually put what's called a catheter, a little tube inside where that drug can be delivered directly to the clot. The other thing that you can use with a catheter is actually just a mechanical tool, a mechanical device to break the clot up and remove it. But this is a question to ask the person who's going to do it. You don't be frightened to ask the question. Say, look, how are you going to do it? What are the possible side effects? What is my recovery time likely to be? And what things should I look out for?
Rob, we've reached the end of this segment. Thank you so much.
Well done, Doc.
And thank you to your questions. Yeah, I didn't answer anything today. Next time, maybe. All right. And guys, don't forget, if you have a question for Rob, it's info@chrissybshow.tv. And actually, Rob would like you to stay on because we do have a cake at the end of the programme.
You don't need to ask me to do that.
Someone's birthday today. Okay. Well, guys, after the break, we'll be getting this week's celebrity news with Helena Chard in Behind the Fame, and I'll be giving you my tips on how you can be a great mentor. But before that, here's a fact for you. Young adults at risk of falling off track who then gain a mentor are more likely to hold leadership roles later in life. But can you tell me by how much? Is it A, 70%, B, 90%, or C, 130%? Find out just how valuable a mentor can be after the break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. Now, there's all sorts of mentoring out there, not just in business. You can be a mentor in a youth group, at work, when there's maybe a new staff member, at your university with new students, and also as a parent or older sibling. Now, I also mentor people, and it's really a rewarding experience, especially when you see your mentees developing in life and becoming successful. So you may really want to help other people on a one-to-one basis, but how can you be a good mentor? Let's go to my first point. The first one is to be credible. So the best and most credible mentors are the ones that have achieved success in the area that the mentee wants to achieve success in. So for example, I successfully tackled mental health issues and overcame them, so I have experience in this area. So when I mentor people, I have experience and can guide them in the right way because I understand what they're going through, and I can guide them in the way that I overcame certain things. I can give them the best advice for that. My second point is to lead by example. So the best way people can learn from you is by your good example. So how do you handle stressful situations, for example? How do you deal with difficult people? They will see how you handle yourself and also hopefully do the same if you do it well, that is. My third point is be genuinely caring. So get to know your mentee on a personal level. What are their hopes and dreams? What are their fears? See that person as someone important in whose life you really want to make a difference. And think about them during your day. You know, think about how you can help them more, and not just when you're about to meet up with them. My next point is to be open. So I love to share my mistakes and difficult experiences that I've been through. And if I only talk about the good times and the success I've had, people won't actually be able to relate to me or think maybe, you know, that I don't understand them. If maybe people look at me and think, oh, you know, she's never had any problems, she doesn't know what she's talking about because she doesn't know how I feel, it wouldn't be as good. So that's why I do love to talk about things that I've been through and how I dealt with certain situations, even, you know, if they were very negative. My fifth point is to listen more. So give your mentee a chance to talk. Don't just try to teach. So you need to ask questions and allow them to talk so that you can, you know, see the best way of actually guiding them. And you can actually help them to reach their own conclusions about things rather than you telling them how things are and what they should do. And my last point is to be honest. So there's someone that was once telling me about the problems that she, you know, has with others and how they've hurt her and the things that they say. However, being on the outside, I could also see that she had a part to play in that because she, you know, the way she was interacting with those people wasn't great. So I asked her, can I be honest, you know, to see if she was ready to actually hear some feedback. So I wasn't going to say, you know, poor you, those people are so horrible to you. She gave me that opening to be honest. So I helped her to see that her own behavior was actually contributing to the negative reaction she was getting. So your mentee might not like to hear these kind of things at first, but if you do this in the right way, they will think about it and realize that you are right. But again, you have to kind of check first if they would actually like that feedback. Actually, I do have another point, which is to acknowledge achievement. So again, there is someone that I'm working with who has come such a long way, and there are times that I've had to remind her because she can sometimes get quite discouraged if she feels that she hasn't really achieved much. So make sure you actually celebrate their successes. You know, when you're mentoring someone, remind them, because sometimes it is pretty discouraging when they feel like, you know, maybe they're even comparing themselves to other people, and then they sort of say to you, oh, you know, I haven't moved forward, If you know their journey, remind them of where they started and actually show them the progress that they've made, and that will actually help them and motivate them more. Well, guys, we haven't finished the end of the program because right now, we have our Behind the Fame section with Helena Chard, and we're also going to be celebrating someone's birthday. So just before Behind the Fame, before the break, I asked you how much more likely young adults with mentors are to have leadership roles later in life. Is it A, 70%, B, 90%, or C, 130%? The answer is a whopping 130%. So after all this business talk, I think it's about time we caught up with Helena Chard for this week's Behind the Fame. And today's cake of the week was made by the incredible Madeline's Cake Boutique of London. So it's a very special lemon drizzle drip cake and is beautifully decorated with a real flour, macaroons and gold dusted strawberries. Look at that, Helena.
That's so beautiful, isn't
amazing?
It's so bold and bright, isn't it?
Yes.
Can't wait to try
Can't wait to try it, but we are celebrating someone's birthday today, and we'll be wheeling them in just a while. But first,
in a wheelbarrow.
Yes.
No, something special in a nice chariot.
Yes. So what's in Behind the Fame this week?
Okay, so lots of news. Congratulations to George and Amal Clooney on the birth of their twins, Ella and Alexander. Really happy for him, because lots of people were saying that he wouldn't settle down, so he's happy, which is great. The princes, so William and Harry, protecting their mother's memory, and they are going to be doing a 40-minute BBC documentary, which I'm really happy about. They actually feel that they've let her down, but they have, they were young. How could they really, But now they're going to just have friends and talk about her and just remember her memory and all the good that she's done. So that's really exciting. I'm really happy about that. Moving on to the homeless man Stephen Jones. So unfortunately, with the Manchester bombing, he was there and got so involved and helped, victims and gave them love and support. And it was lovely that somebody set up a Just Giving crowdfunding page, and now they've raised thousands to actually find him accommodation, which is great. It's still, it's still going through, but fabulous. really great. And actually, we have to talk about Ariana Grande. I know that we've been talking about things for a long time, but she just has done so well. And to get Piers Morgan, we know Piers Morgan is a bit grumpy, to actually apologise. He said that she wasn't courageous and why did she fly back after the incident in Manchester, but she came back with a vengeance and she hosted that great party with all her friends. I mean, she's 23 years old and she just hosted it so well. And I think
it was put together so quickly as well.
It was about a week or something, and you know, amazing. I don't know, Justin Bieber, Coldplay, amazing rendition. With Don't Look Back in Anger, and now all the proceeds are going to charity, which is good. But she's only 23 and quite humble. She met a lot of the parents and everything of victims and went to visit. It was quite harsh,
you know, of them to say that, because, you know, it was
really
such a shock. Imagine you're doing a concert and then, you know, people have
How much do
died
you feel?
at your concert. And
absolutely, and to fly back and do that, and it just one, you know, over the rainbow and everything as well, that she's put out for charity. So many thousands of pounds have been raised, and good for her. She's really proved herself, really courageous, and so, I don't know, old really for her age. I think a beautiful voice too. So good for her. Moving over to, and actually just one more thing about Liam Gallagher, because he never says a positive thing, and one of the things he said was, what an amazing night, pure love vibrations, and the live music and the love and everything was absolutely what it's about. It gets everyone together, doesn't it? Moving over to Justin Bieber, actually, he was obviously there, and we all were a bit like, oh, you know, Justin Bieber, not again. But actually, he's like a changed man. I'll say man. He was born before, but he's found Christianity. He's really happy. He basically was saying that, you know, he doesn't know who's real, who's not, who's authentic, but his relationship with God, and he feels at peace, and so good for him. I think great for him, and he's somebody who we found when she was, I think, really quite young. What's her name? Madison Beer. Is just so happy to see. She's now 18. She was 13 when he found her. Is so happy to see him so healthy and just full of life, and which is great. Moving on to Coronation Street, some people's favourite, not necessarily mine, but Catherine Tildesley, who is celebrating her 3rd wedding anniversary. She's been saying that she's just so sick and tired of people being airbrushed. She works very hard on her body. She's natural. She just thinks that everyone should be the same. It really is, everyone's lying to themselves with all these apps and etc. and it's causing a lot of body dysmorphia. Yes. So she's quite angry about it and voiced everything. But in a positive way. So everyone needs to get out and trim and get fit. Yes. You're very fit, aren't you? Yeah, do it the real fit. And Perry Edwards from Little Mix, again, they played in Manchester. She's been, she's a hero in lots of people's eyes, because she actually had a photograph taken of her, very beautiful, showing a big scar that she's got, because when she was younger she had a problem with her esophagus and couldn't eat properly. So rather than hiding it, which she has done for years, she's shown it, which is obviously which is great. So everyone's admiring that. Moving on to Simon Cowell. Everyone loves Simon Cowell. No, okay. It's all right. It's all right. A lot of my friends really love him. I have to say, I don't see the appeal, but anyway, that's just my thoughts. He's going to fund an £80,000 operation to one of the Mersey girls, so the finalist Julia Carlisle, her name is, and she's having a back surgery in America. So that's great. She didn't. All right. He scored some points. Yeah, they didn't win, but that's such a
They did really well though.
They did incredibly well. They did incredibly well. But I have to say, the winner, I don't know if you saw it, I didn't actually see the live, Tokyo Myers, and he's a fantastic pianist, and he did a great production, and he's going to be performing in front of the Queen, which is lovely for him. But the good thing about him is also he came from quite a bad background. He said in his own words, he had a rough upbringing. Most of his friends are dead or in prison. Wow, really? And his music was something which really, really kept him grounded, and this is now he's here. So he's a real inspiration. So well. I'm not too sure how he got into it or why. That's another bit of story that I'd like to look at. And moving on to just something fun.
Very quick.
Dion Leonard, a great guy who did an 80-mile run through the desert in China, found the perfect friend, and it's a little little girl dog, called Gobi, and it's because he found her, sorry, the he's and she's getting confused, the little dog followed him while he ran that whole way, and the dog's been adopted and is now living with him and his wife in Edinburgh, I think it is. And it is the most beautiful, beautiful dog. And it's a lovely story. I won't extend on it, but it just shows, dogs are a man's best friend.
Cake time, everybody! Well, first of all, I think we have to light this, ready for our birthday girl, right? Okay, so let's light this candle. And then we shall start singing, and then she's going to come in out of the blue. So ready? Everybody come in. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Leanne. Happy birthday to you. Go ahead. It's not working. Let's cut the cake.
Beautiful. You'll have the flower, the strawberries, all the special bits.
Oh, that's cool. Everyone can get it.
No, you get the first bit, my lovely, because it's your... And actually, it is also our editor Lucas's birthday as well. Celebrating exactly the same day. Well, happy birthday, Lucas. And we will save you a piece of this gorgeous cake. Well done. Here you go. Where's your plate?
I don't have
There we go. There's one there. Take it. There you go. All right, guys, so we have reached the end of today's programme, but don't forget, if you would like to ask us a question or if you would like to comment on anything on the programme, as well as our beautiful cakes, you can email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Bye-bye!